Hey brothers and sisters, this is Francis and I'm on my way home from work. And I haven't done this before, so I'm going to try and do a post on my way home from work. We'll see how that goes. The traffic should have died down by now. I've actually been hanging around doing a little work after my last class. And Houston is known for its really bad traffic, but it's 8:17 and by now most of it should be gone. So I wanted to talk to y'all today about some of the testimonies that I'm getting. I'm getting some really cool testimonies. I had, oh, and I can't remember everybody's name. I'm really sorry. You have to forgive me for that. But I had one woman write in and say that her car wasn't starting, and her sister prayed over her car, and her car started. Yay! I love to hear stories like that. Can anybody even see me? Am I visible? Oh, that's just too much. I can't do that. Sorry, y'all. Maybe I can do this. Oh, here. I got it. How about that? No, that's not good. I can't see the road. So you'll just have to listen to me today. You know, I have to look at my ugly mug. There's been a lot of great testimonies coming in, and that's what I want to hear. I want to hear that y'all are going out there laying hands on people and praying for people. I tried to talk yesterday about encouraging y'all to just ask people for prayer. They don't have to be in a wheelchair. Just go up to somebody and ask them if they would like you to pray for them. You know, just get bold. Now, the problem is courage. It's a courage thing. It's, you know, it's a little intimidating to just walk up to a stranger and ask him if you can pray for them. I understand that. You know, Jesus said, fear not. It is important for us as believers not to have fear. We have to have courage. So I, ironically enough, have a little story about courage, you know, that I do. So my wife and I, one time in our career, we purchased an indoor soccer and softball center. It was so big. On one side it had an indoor soccer field, okay, fine. On the other side it had an indoor softball field. Now come on, y'all, how big does a place have to be if you're going to play baseball indoors? Okay, are you hearing me? Not like hardball, but you know, softball, but still it was pretty big. So the ceiling had these nets all over them, and we did really good with tournaments and stuff. So we had this tournament coming up, and about 9 o'clock on Friday night, a guy came up, one of my employees came up to me and he said, hey man, the nets just fell down from the ceiling in the baseball room. Well, we had a tournament coming up the next day, Saturday morning, early in the morning. I had a tournament coming up, and I was like, well, you know, go up there and fix it. He goes, first of all, I can't get up there. It's 65 feet up. Okay, it's 65 foot high, which I know might not sound like a lot, but it's a lot. It's really high when you're going up. And he goes, second of all, I got a date tonight. I'm done. I'm clocking out. I'm gone. So I was like, can't you get so-and-so to do it? And he says, I don't think you heard me. We don't have any way to get up there. I was like, oh, yeah. So I get on the phone, I start calling around, and I actually have a friend of mine that does scaffolding. So I make a phone call to a friend of mine, and he's like, yeah, I can get it there, but I won't be able to get it there till midnight. You know, I'm working on this job and that job, and I won't be able to get it there till midnight. So I don't have any employees going to be there at midnight. So guess who's got to tie up the nets? Me. Because when you own your own business, guess what? You end up doing just about everything at one time or another. So me and my wife are there, and he drops off the scaffolding, and I actually convinced one of my employees to stay behind and put up the scaffolding, because I had some work that I had to do prior to that. So he said he would, but he had to leave right after that. He couldn't do the nets. Okay, fine. So at about 1 o'clock, I get done from doing what I'm doing, and I'm going to start up the scaffolding, and I start climbing up, and lo and behold, I never knew it, but about 20 feet up, my knees start shaking. Apparently, I'm afraid of heights. I never knew I was afraid of heights. apparently I've never been higher than an 8-foot ladder, so I had no reason to know that I was afraid of heights. But I'm afraid of heights. And my knees are knocking. And I remember I just kind of stood there at about 20 feet, and I was like, whoa, what is this? Oh, I don't know this feeling. This is not familiar to me, because, you know, I generally don't have fear. And I kind of hung out for a little while, and I remember my wife came out. She's like, "What are you doing? Go up there and fix the net." And you know, I didn't want to admit that I was afraid, so I just kind of left alone. I was like, "Yeah, I'm going." And she went back in the office. She was doing some work. So I went up another 20 feet to 40 feet. Now it's just like really high. 40 feet is really high. And I just stop. And my knees are just like, bam, 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 bam. They're just knocking. And my wife comes out. She's like, "Dude, what is your deal? It's been almost half an hour. How long does it take to go up the scaffolding?" And I said, well, honey, it seems I'm afraid of heights." Oh man, she broke out laughing. She was cracking up. She goes back in the office and she's doing some more work. And about 30 minutes later, I make it to the top. Now I am spread eagle on that thing. I'm laying down on top. I got my arms straight out, my legs out, spread eagle. My legs are wide, my hands are wide, and I'm just frozen solid with fear. I can't move. I'm 65, I'm about 60 feet up. Yeah, I think it was 60 feet. I think we got 60-foot scaffolding. And I'm just frozen. I cannot move. And my wife comes out and she's mocking me. She's mocking me. She is razzing me. Just making fun of me, laughing at me. And then she grabs the scaffolding and she starts shaking it. And I'm freaking out. I'm like, "Stop it! Stop! Just stop it. Please leave me alone. Just stop it." I'm laughing and part crying at the same time, if y'all know what I'm saying. And she's laughing at me. She is gut laughing now. She's on the ground, rolling around, laughing so hard she can't control herself. She's like, "The muscles in the back of my head hurt from laughing so hard." And I get up on my knees. I'm on my knees. Now it's been an hour, okay? It's taken me an hour to get up and just get to my knees. And I'm just terrified. I'm terrified. And every time she can get herself in control, she'll start shaking the scaffolding again on me. I'm like, "Just stop it!" And there's nothing I can do. She knows I can't do anything. I'm stuck up there. I'm not coming down. I'm not moving. And it was just hilarious, man. She messed with me for almost an hour. I wanted to kill her, but you know, it was really funny at the same time. I couldn't say too much. You know, I probably would have done the same thing, and she knew that. So about an hour later, I got to my feet, and I stood up and I grabbed the ceiling. It's got these metal joists, and I grabbed it. I'm just hanging on, and about, I want to say 30 minutes later, I tied up my first wire tie. I got part a net, part tied up, and then you know, I was, wow. And with each passing minute of standing up, the fear started to go away, and the fear started to go away. 15 minutes later, I'm running back and forth, hanging off that thing, tying it up here, tying it up there. My wife is pushing it around, pushing it up, pushing it down. I'm tying it off, and it just kind of went away. And I remembered when I first thought about going up and asking somebody for prayer, I remembered that story. And I thought to myself, yeah, it's scary to just go up and pray for somebody, but surely it's something I can overcome. And each person that I did it to, it got easier and easier and easier, to the point where it was nothing. It was no big thing. I would just go and ask people for prayer. So now I don't have an issue with it. So I keep telling y'all, if you're waiting for some prompting of the Holy Spirit, you'll be waiting until the cows come home. Just go up and start asking people, "Hey, can I pray for you? Do you have anything you want to pray about?" You'll be surprised. You ask 5 people, 4 out of the 5 will say yes. Every now and then somebody will say no. Well, and every now and then you'll get an atheist. And that's a whole different story. So I just wanted to tell y'all that story. I thought it was kind of funny. My wife, I could have killed her. anyways, I'll talk to y'all later. I'll probably post this in a little bit. Bye.